Every gardener eventually hits that moment when their soil feels tired, when beds that once thrived begin producing smaller yields, weaker plants, or stunted growth. Before chemical fertilizers existed, gardeners relied on something simple, abundant, and incredibly effective: wood ash. And when used correctly, it's one of the most powerful soil amendments you can add to your garden today. The trick is understanding what wood ash actually does, how much to use, and when to apply it. Misused, it can cause problems. Used properly, it becomes a quiet powerhouse that restructures your soil, restores depleted minerals, and supports vigorous plant growth in a way synthetic fertilizers simply can't replicate. Let's walk through exactly why wood ash works so well, and how to use it with precision. Gardeners often talk about nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, but the truth is plants need far more than those three. Wood ash contains calcium, magnesium, potassium, zinc, manganese, and trace minerals pulled from deep within a tree's structure. When a tree burns, those minerals remain behind in the ash in a highly available form. If your soil feels empty, especially after years of repeated planting without replenishment, wood ash can quickly restore essential micronutrients. A light sprinkle, 1 to 2 cups per square meter, is more than enough to refresh your soil's mineral balance. More is not better. Ash is potent, and a little goes a long way. Acidic soil can silently rob your plants of strength. Tomatoes yellow, peppers stall, beans refuse to flower, and leafy greens stay small. Many gardeners don't realize that soil can drift toward acidity over time due to rainfall, compost rich in pine needles, or general nutrient depletion. Wood ash acts like a mild natural lime, lifting soil pH slowly and gently. Unlike agricultural lime, which works rapidly and can overshoot, wood ash buffers acidity without shocking the soil. Apply it to beds where pH routinely falls below 6.0, especially potato patches after harvest, old perennial beds, berry rows that stop producing, and beds repeatedly hit by heavy rain. Always test your soil first if you can. If you're unsure, use the lightest rate, 1 cup per square meter. Calcium, the most abundant mineral in wood ash, acts like a soil architect. It encourages small particles to clump together into larger aggregates, improving aeration, drainage, and root penetration. This is especially valuable in clay-heavy soils that stay soggy or compacted. Wood ash also speeds up decomposition in compost piles or in-bed mulching systems. If you use fall leaves or grass clippings as mulch, a thin dusting of ash between layers helps microbes break them down into humus faster. The calcium and trace minerals in the ash feed microbial populations, which then mineralize your organic material into plant-ready nutrition. If your leaf piles take forever to break down, adding ash lightly is a simple and effective fix. Fruit-bearing plants are hungry for potassium. Tomatoes, peppers, squash, cucumbers, melons, and berry bushes rely on it for strong flowering, thick cell walls, and resistance to drought and disease. Potassium also helps regulate how plants move water and nutrients internally. Now, just so you know, a single application of sifted ash early in the season can really make a difference. It can noticeably improve fruit size, fruit set, disease resistance, and even, well, the flavor. For fruiting vegetables, you'll want to apply about half a cup per plant. Just scratch it lightly into the top 2 to 3 centimeters of soil, and then make sure to water thoroughly. And for berry shrubs, go ahead and apply 1 cup around the drip line in early spring. Wood ash must always be used with intention. Here's the most reliable method. Spread only a thin, even dusting, never piles or clumps. Scratch it into the soil surface about 1 to 2 centimeters. Water it in lightly to prevent wind loss. Apply only once per season, unless you're correcting very acidic soil. Avoid using wood ash on blueberry beds, potato beds, since it can increase scab, and very alkaline soil, with a pH over 7.5. If your soil is close to neutral, well, you should apply sparingly. Store wood ash in a metal container and, keep it dry. Wet ash becomes caustic and, honestly, far too strong for garden use. Old gardeners often had a little trick up their sleeves. They used wood ash as a compost activator. Just a simple handful per layer, about every 10 to 15 centimeters of organic matter, can really work wonders. It helps balance acidity and gives a nice boost to the decomposition process. Now, if you're mostly composting kitchen scraps and green waste, adding ash can be quite beneficial. It helps prevent those sour, smelly piles and encourages a lighter, fluffier compost texture. After several months, you'll notice your compost becomes richer, darker, and crumbly, true garden gold. Wood ash is one of those ancient, overlooked amendments that still outperforms many modern products. When applied with care, it restores minerals, balances pH, strengthens soil structure, boosts fruiting, and accelerates compost. If you heat your home with wood or have access to clean ash, you have a powerful soil enhancer that generations of gardeners relied on long before fertilizers existed. Use it wisely and your soil will thank you with stronger, healthier, more productive plants season after season.